Hey everybody, this is Johnny Vegas from BattleReports.com. This is a replay that I really wanted to commentate on. It's one of my own games. I was probably, I was like number one gold for a long time when there was just gold and platinum, and then I got promoted into diamond, and I played a few diamond games and such. I always kind of got the shaft on the placement matches, and I would play like two or three really good players and end up in gold and have to work my way up, and I would be sitting at, number one gold for a long time. But this game is probably, high gold or mid to upper mid diamond. I think it's a pretty old replay. It's probably about patch 12. But at this point in my play, I had been facing Protoss that were constantly doing that 9-minute timing attack with like one or two immortal. Several zealots, some sentries. This is before the sentries got their damage nerfed down to 6. Some stalkers. So I was having a hard time fast expanding and fending off that timing attack. So when I saw that we were in these positions, I decided to try something different, and that would be a fast Nydus worm attack. So you'll see I get 2 gas relatively quickly here. Well, actually, I've waited quite a while, but I will take both gas at the same time. I think around 15 or 16. And yeah, because I'm shooting for a fast lair so I can hit that fast Nydus worm. And the faster you get your Nydus worm attack off in his base, the less likely he is to have buildings that cover all corners. Like we see here, he's very vulnerable. And now my Overlord has scouted all of this, and I realize that he's not going to be able to spot a Nydus worm attack right here. So that's my plan. If you watch a lot of Day 9 VODs, he advocates that you have a plan every game, like a plan for the early game, mid game, etc. So my plan this game is to get a fast lair, get a Nydus worm, and throw as many units as I can through that initial attack. I don't have anything planned beyond that. Everything else I just kind of figure out on the fly. So we see that he is doing a 2-gate pressure. I'm not concerned because I've laid down a spine crawler, and I believe I go for some roaches here. Just for a little, yeah, there we go. Basically because roaches don't use much gas, so I thought I'd be able to defend whatever he had off one base with a roach warren. I didn't want zerglings. It seems to me that zerglings are especially weak when you're one basing, because you have such a limited supply of larvae. Spending a larva on a 2 zerglings can be very expensive for you. But roaches are such an efficient unit in terms of larva use that I decided to go that route. So yeah, if you're one basing, it's really hard to have a large amount of zerglings because you're gonna have that many less drones. But at least with roaches, you make 5 roaches, you've only used 5 larvae. So 10 zerglings, the same 5 larvae, but 10 zerglings die very easily. And we see I send out a scout just to see what's going on. I already know he has 2 gate, so I'm just trying to get a good look at his unit composition to see if I need any additional defense. And since I'm going for roaches, zealots and sentry is a good matchup for me. And yes, about this time in the beta, which was around patch 11 or 12, all Protoss would go for this Robo Bay. The 2-gate or 3-gate, then Robo Bay attack. The 4-gate pressure was not popular until later. So I was pretty sure I knew what I was facing. I do have a lot of minerals here, but I did kind of save up my minerals and gas because I wanted to be able to produce a lot of hydralisks. And there we see my Nydus network going down. So I would say the mistake that Yankrj, the Protoss, has done here is just not keeping up with his scouting. After I killed his initial scout, I do not believe he's been back, and that's just a bad idea. He probably fell into a pattern where he just been practicing this immortal timing attack build, and you really shouldn't get so predictable that you're doing the same thing every game. You should mix things up, try new stuff. That's the best way to improve and learn new stuff. He finally does send out this probe to scout. He's got to be curious what I'm doing. Oh, okay, yeah, this is a very typical with the immortal push to do the proxy pylon. I probably should have had a unit out here, but I didn't have a lot of units to spare. I didn't have that many Zerglings, although I guess I do have 7, so that would have been fine. Let's see if I do have an... Okay, I do have a sacrificial overlord in his base with OV speed. And this overlord was necessary because he drove this one off. And I needed this for sight for my upcoming Nydus worm. So here I am preparing for the Nydus worm attack. Also, my overlord saw that he was moving out, potentially. Let's see if I have any other scouts. Just these hydras. So I think I pretty much guessed he was moving out to attack, and that's when I decided to send the Nydus worm. And this is when I came up with the secondary plan of Nydus worming into his base, killing as much as I could, or perhaps forcing him back to defend. That's what I was really hoping for. And then retreating to defend my base. So let's see how it works out. So this one side effect of this is he kind of stalls and just sits there for a while because he's like, oh crap, there's a Nydus worm. As soon as that Nydus worm roared, his units just froze. He didn't do anything for about 5 seconds. So that gave me a little bit of a window. And then he just decides to base trade. He's like, well, I'm not going to get back in time. I'm just going to base trade. Meanwhile, I leave only 3 Zerglings there. Send all my Hydras back. I still have that spine crawler I made earlier. Oh, I do have another one. I think that was part of my Nydus worm plan. I just had the extra minerals, and I thought, well, if I Nydus worm, he's probably going to counter, and so I'm going to need defense. And that's it. That's how you pull off a quick Nydus worm attack and get back to your own base to defend. Meanwhile, I'm sending more guys through here. I guess he's already said good game, though. Doesn't matter. So that is all, folks. You can see my resources starting to creep up after I know the game's over. See you next time.